Yo, did you know 46% of y'all are not subscribed? So with that being said, help a man out and hit that subscribe button. Shanghai Dragons, Fate and Void, easy. Easy A. Void's still good. Fate, though, one too many mistakes on his Winston play. Very non-aggressive sometimes with his DPS, support sometimes, appeal. Occasionally has fantastic performances, though, like against the Dallas Fuel of his primals. That's been very good for Fate. All around, very inconsistent. Especially during like the normal regular games, I guess you could say, Fate was not that good. Whereas when it came to playing very serious, he had better games, but also occasionally not that many good games. You know, his Reinhardt's been not the best. You know, I expected that to be better from Fate because he's been kind of solid on Reinhardt almost every season of the Overwatch League. But this season has not been the best for him so far. As Winston still has a lot of potential, still has shown high tier performances. Where Void, he still has good performances. Like Void's still the same. Yogpung and Bianca. These guys I'm putting C for now. Bianca's still good occasionally, I should say. Not good every game, not good every map, but that's expected when you're on a team like this. Then you have Yogpung. Unfortunately, it's definitely better than his Toronto Defiant days, but also the league has grown a lot since 2019. So we'll see what happens with them later on. This is also another thing, big coaching stuff issues. Huge coaching. The coach staff has not changed, and this coaching staff has not been successful for years now. So it needs to change. I think these guys could easily be like up here, maybe up here if they have better coaching. But right now, I think I have to put them C. Shredlock and Fried. I think honestly, Fried's helping this thing do out by a little bit. Like, if it wasn't Fried has been one of the best players on Vancouver next to Teru. Absolutely, hands down. Shredlock Shredlock always has occasional performances, but they need to be way more consistent. Like maybe one weekend, it'll be good. Give it 2 more weekends, he's back. You know, he's one of those kind of main tanks. But they really need to change this tank duo. What I mean by that is the main tank. Fried's reason Titans keep on winning the map against everyone. Yeah, Fried has been good, and this is what I've been saying for years. Like Fried needed to be on a team back in season 3. I hated seeing him being benched on the Atlanta Reign. Now he's on the Vancouver Titans and changing his team by a little bit. Not a lot, by a little bit. So Fried's good. Tom Brady 69, and then you have Shredlock. What's next? Toronto Defiant, Sato, Michelle. B or C for Sato, Michelle. I'd say they are better than Yogpung, Bianca, Shredlock, Fried, obviously. Sato, Michelle. Let's start with Sato first. Sato's Winston, game-changing for Toronto Defiant. Game-changing. Ryan, he gets out-Ryan by almost everyone I've seen so far who they've gone against. Michelle, I think Michelle has like shown solid performances on all off tanks, but very inconsistent. Very inconsistent of a player where he doesn't look that good sometimes. Could be a reason they lost a map or two. Big mistake with cooldown usage, ult usage, not the big play. Doesn't look like his team's ready for his plays sometimes, like a flux. Those have shown occasional things with Michelle, but all around, I still think Michelle has been a big part on the Toronto Defiant tank duo. But I'd say they're B for sure. Rio Krong. Honestly, I think this may be the best part of Charge. Well, Krong's the same, but stuck on Trash Squad. Absolutely. Krong's still fantastic on the Sigma, the Zarya, the Diva. That and Choice 1. Yeah, Choice 1's been great. Rio. I mean, he's all right. I think he's shown the same performances like every year. Start of season 2, he was fantastic. I don't know what happened to him later on, but he was good at the start of season 2, kind of went down. And then he's had like the same performances ever since. So I guess you could say, whoever said that earlier, he's definition of consistent. I mean, yeah, he's had consistent performances, but are they the best performances? Not really, but they're good. What's next? What do we have next? Chat, just don't go back to my tank duo tier list predictions. Just don't go back to that. All right. I mean, Jongu. No, let's talk about Piggy. Actually, let's talk about Piggy. This guy is still underrated. Like, no one's talking about Piggy. Everyone's talking about Jongu. All right. Everyone's talking about Jongu instead. Why is no one talking about Piggy? This guy has had super underrated performances on like Diva, Sig, and Zarya. This guy. Crazy good. Piggy's good. This guy needs to be talked about way more. Jongu, Ryan's been solid. That was expected though. Like his Ryan's always been good in contenders back on Talon. Expected. That was like the only bright part I saw of this team. You know, at the start of a Ryan meta, Jongu coming in being a Ryan player, that was the good part, and he performed on Ryan. And same thing goes with like his Winston. So like these two, very good. These guys have so much potential on being S tier though. Easily have a lot of potential. Molfig and Hottie, they're not. Let's see. Honestly, I will say Hottie has been very bad. All of these, yeah, okay, I kind of agree with that. All of London is D until proven otherwise. I mean, Molfig's still good. Molfig is really still good. Honestly, he is. Showing solid performances when he can on a bad team. Hottie's positioning is kind of strange. Ult usage has been kind of strange as well. So like I may have to put him D, mostly because like how much Hottie has held this team back a little bit. Molfig on the other hand, like I said already, Molfig's still good. He's still a bright spot on the London Spitfire in my opinion. And maybe if he had a better main tank around him, he'd look even better. But I will say about that. London fans, Molfig's still good. Hottie on the other hand, what's next? Seoul Dynasty Gesture and 2U. Definitely not an A, definitely not an S. B or C for these guys. I don't see myself putting them D. 2U has shown decent performances. They're not the best of the best. Same thing goes with Gesture. I mean, they still look the same. Gesture's overrated. Yeah, but they are better than the tank duos below them. On to the next one. Super and Choi Hyobin, or Smurf Choi Hyobin. Let's be honest. Choi Hyobin's still good. Definitely not S. These guys have shown S tier performances. Maybe A though. Yeah, I'm gonna put them A. I don't know if the schedule, yes, ended up being tough for them, but they should also be, you know, sometimes getting close to beating these guys. Silver 3 and Shou Chang. Put them there. All right. Let's just do that. Lantern Rain, Gator and Hawk. They have improved. These guys have improved compared to last year. Are going to put them B. Gators look better. Hawk has looked better so far this season. And I think they have way more potential during the season as well. Like, yes, first tournament was kind of up and down for them. Hawk has shown solid performances all around on the Sigma. Gators look good on the Reinhardt as we thought, because Gator definitely out-Rhined a few people like Sato, for an example. Don and Ellie vote. Not D. I think this tank duo gets way more hate than I thought, or it should, I should say. Like Don, I see people saying Don's awful main tank. I mean, yes, occasionally he has one too many bad performances, but he also does a lot for this team. Like this guy gets shatters pretty fast because of his aggressive play style, and Ellie votes honestly around him a decent amount of times for that. He just shatters a lot, and sometimes they're big shatters, sometimes they're like, why did you even shatter kind of thing. But he gets them so fast, like he can just keep putting them out and out. I think Don's solid for now for a pairs team. Ellie votes all right. I mean, I want to say he's awful. I don't like using that word, but he's definitely not the best off tank in the league right now. I would say Molf's probably better. Maybe even Shou Chang. I don't know. These guys have potential. They may stay here for the rest of the season, knowing how Paris is looking. But Dredro's coming in could change the thing or two with his shot calling or just him being in the team all around. So Don, Ellieville, definitely going to be there. I think these guys get way too much hate than they should, than they have. I guess you could say. Mag and Fury. I think I have to put them A maybe. I don't think they're S mostly because Fury's still top tier. Absolutely, Fury's still top tier. He's shown that all melee. Mag on the other hand, really can only play Winston, but his Winston still hasn't been fearless level. His Reinhardt is, as you said, questionable. I mean, he definitely needs to work on his Ryan. It has been good in the past. His Ryan's always been good in the past. I don't think he was ready to play Ryan in this meta or this certain kind of composition we have right now in the league. You know, Douse Fuel changing up a few things here and there. I think Mag and Fury still will be S tier later in another tournament or two, maybe next tournament. At the end of the season, I think they will be S tier, but right now, as performances are showing, going to be A tier. I definitely think that he definitely stacks up against Fate and Jongu and Super. Way better than the people below him, absolutely. Fury still showing great performances. Mag can easily improve on that Reinhardt. OG and Gargoyle. I may put him A. I get some people may have recency bias and say but they did so good in main melee. Yes, True. Very true. Yes. But OG, how inconsistent he was at the start of Mayhem. Yes, he picked it up when he needed to pick it up, which is good. Fantastic. He picked it up with his Reinhardt and, you know, a Brawl meta, or just how they played all around, right? And Rush. Perfect for OG to pick it up at the time he needed to pick it up. So he is going to be A, which is fantastic. OG's finally in an A tier, and he's actually consistent, I feel like now. Yes, he was inconsistent at the start of the Overwatch League, but it's gotten better as the time has gone on. Gargoyle, still top tier, still making so many plays on the Sigma and the Diva. This guy's still crazy with how Gargoyle is performing, and especially with OG beside him. You know, we're all worried of OG, how he's going to perform this year. You know, being on a Florida, this new team, I should say, you know, being him on, Dallas Fuel, inconsistent, LA Gladiators, inconsistent, going to Florida Mayhem. People worried he was going to be inconsistent, and he brings, his playstyle of Florida Mayhem, fits the Florida Mayhem playstyle, and it's working so far. He's starting to get consistent, which is great to see, and I hope he stays consistent next, tournament and the league goes on. LA Gladiators, Muse, and Space. I'm thinking of one chat, and it's looking like a B. It's looking like a B, I will say. Muse has been very underwhelming. Very underwhelming, I would say. What is there to start with Muse? Let's start with Space. So far, this is not the greatest performances from Space, but I'm going to say it. Coaching staff. I'm going to say it. Coaching staff, they're just like, this tank duo should be up here. Chat, this tank duo should be right here. It should. But with how it's going, it's not that Muse and Space are all over the place. They are all over the place. Space is sometimes trying to stay with Muse, but there's no peel for the backline. He's trying to go in with Birdring or Kevster. Muse is not with them, so they die pretty fast. Space is trying to do the right things, but he's not having Muse beside him, and Muse is doing his own thing, kind of being super aggressive. His Reiner does not look that good. His Winston, there's moments that he has on the Winston, but not compared to like a Fearless, right? Not compared to a Mag Winston gameplay. Like Muse, I think Muse will pick it up still. It is the start of the season, but right now, if how Muse is performing, I had to put him B. Mono and Hoppa. Honestly, this isn't a bad tank duo, but where do I rank them? I'm thinking A or B. S? I don't know if I agree. I think the only let's look back. I think Dallas Fuel and Hop are the only S tier right now. I think they're the only S tier. Mono Hop, I would agree with A. I mean, surprisingly, these guys are performing. Where if we look back last year on the NYXL, these guys were not really the best tank duo, and I think we've come to the conclusion now that was because of the coaching staff. It's not a good coaching staff. Now that he's on, our Mono and Hop are on a team with 9K and Carpe and Rascal and Toby, Alarm. These guys are going to look way better, and they've looked better. Hop and Mono are really synced up, and they are diving the right targets. They are peeling together. They are doing things as a duo, and we see that come through, kind of like Fearless Hoppa, where they are doing things as a duo, and they're getting things done with that. So I think Mono and Hoppa could easily be S tier at the end of the season. Absolutely. Gouchway and Bernard. Thinking B, personally. But Spark has also been very underwhelming. I don't know if I would point to the tank line, though, because of that. I think these guys still have been a solid part of the Spark. Bernard still has solid performances. They're not flashy. They aren't flashy. Sending goes with Gouchway. I think these guys are still solid. They aren't super flashy like they have been the last, couple of seasons. But I think they have still potential, and they still look good. Okay. Thank you. Cool of you. Very awesome. Very sick. Gaga and Elsa, A tier. They're A tier. Gaga also makes one too many mistakes. Unlike the ball, the Reinhardt occasionally, sometimes on the Winston. Elsa has honestly been solid all season so far. I have not seen a lot of bad things come out of Elsa with his Zarya, with his Diva, and his Sigma. They are a solid duo that can be S tier. And to end it off with the tank duos, Stan 1 and Punk. I'd say the tank duos above them have been better, but I would also say they are better than the ones in C. So with that, we're gonna put them there. Where's NYXL over here? Where is NYXL? Right here. I say they are better than the people in C, but they're also not as good as the people in B. So that was the tank duos.